Hello and welcome to Unacademy. I welcome you all into this session. Now, based on popular demand, looking at the pattern of the paper and looking at the previous year questions of 2013 to 2025, this topic is extremely important for the examination because we're getting at least one question every year, sometimes two. Now, if you look at the larger pattern in that regard, if you want the PPT, you will find it in this Telegram channel. But if you look at the larger pattern, literature, the author is something which UPSC is asking. Over and above that, if you analyze 2013 to 2025, it is mostly ancient literature which they're asking. Therefore, I don't want to give you an extensive session or list right now, just 10 to 15 days before the examination. So, therefore, we will concentrate on ancient literature. Further, what we have seen is Buddhism and Jainism is something which they have asked multiple times, but I'll give you a comprehensive list which you can go through once before you go into the exam. I will also give you medieval because you never know with UPSC, they can give you one or two basic, very Aine Akbari type question in the examination and you should be able to get it. So therefore, based on the pattern, I'll concentrate on ancient and medieval. And remember, just go through this before in the examination once. Cannot learn this in the time frame which is there, but maybe familiarity will help you. Literature, author is what really matters. Now, when we talk about ancient India, first is the Shruti and Smriti literature, then it is Buddhist, Jain, and then we transition towards the most important medieval would be Vijayanagara. Now, what do you mean by Shruti and Smriti? First thing you should know. Now, Shruti means canonical, the one which cannot change, it is infallible, and it is only remembered by the Brahmanical community. Therefore, the Vedic corpus is basically Shruti. And Smriti literature is the one which keeps on changing, remembered throughout generations as told to others, and it is non-canonical. Canonical would mean that it has what we call as a certain sacred aspect in the larger form of that, what we call as literature and in religion. But remember, there's no one canonical text in Vedic Hinduism or Hinduism per se. But Shruti literature is generally considered to be canonical, which is that it is connected to a canon and cannot be changed over a period of time through remembering unless it has been done by the Brahmanical community, which has a monopoly over this. Now, when I say Vedic corpus, it basically refers to 8 books. In very simple terms, you have the 4 Vedas, Rig, Sam, Yajur, and Atharv, and then the 4 subsidiary books, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and the Upanishads or the Veda or what we call as Vedanta or Upanishads. So, Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, Atharv Ved. You should not know per se how many hymns are there, but this may help you in a PCS level examination. 1028, 1810, 10 books, and the Rig Ved has the mantras. How to recite the mantras is Sam Veda. Yajurved is you can say, which part of Rig Veda to learn or to actually use for a specific type of performance or yagna. And Atharv is, previously it was not called a Veda. Latest, it has superstitions, popular practices, all added into it. So the Vedic corpus core is these 4. However, we have further 4 books. You have the Brahmana, the Samhita, the Aranyaka, and the Upanishads. Brahmanas is the logic in which the Vedas are further divided into Samhitas, which would be chapterization in very simplistic terms. Aranyaka would be the forest books. When the sannyasis went into the forest, they brought new information that becomes Aranyaka. And Upanishads, 108 to be very precise, out of which 13 are considered to be the principal ones. This is the most important set. This came in 2025 and in 2024 also. Does the Upanishads have parables? Yes, it has. The idea is this is the philosophical expression or indication or meaning of the Rig Veda and the whole Vedic corpus itself. Generally, very, very important because it has also all the important gods of Vedic Brahmanism and Hinduism with regards to Vishnu Puran, or rather the reference to Shiva, Vishnu. All are part of this. Puranas is a separate text family book, but Upanishads are the fountainhead out of which these texts come out. Then we also have renditions or versions, and the only version which we have, or rendition or recension as it is called, version of the Rig Veda which is there, is called the Shakla Shakha. Shakha means branch. There is one more set of texts which are attached to these 8 but are not considered per se to be Shruti, because these 8, especially the Rig Veda and the Upanishads, is considered to be a very important set of philosophical expression. The Vedangas are supplementary books based on the concepts of the Vedas, which start to tell us different aspects of ancient sciences. For example, phonetics, meter, grammar, etymology, ritual, and astronomy. Jyotisha actually comes out of one of the Vedangas. So please understand this point. Vedic corpus plus Vedangas is basically the whole set of Vedic literature. UPSC per se, other than the Upanishads question, has not gone into this territory, but they can ask you a question. Remember this point that Shruti texts are these only. Now, when we move out of Shruti's text, the most important Smriti text, which can be remembered by everyone, has been evolving, is the Puranas. The Puranas. So 108 Upanishads, 13 to be considered principal ones. And then we have the Puranas, which technically means old, but these are the text corpus which was produced over hundreds of years, maybe sometimes millennia. You have 18 Mahapurans, and then you have Upapurans. Now, obviously, you cannot learn all the 18 Mahapurans, but Vishnu Puran is generally considered very important, along with that Bhagavad Puran, because Bhagavatism, which is Hinduism, before Bhakti gets added to it, is based on the Bhagavat and the Vishnu Puran, along with the Linga and Shiva Puran. Very important. As I said, Upanishads have a certain reference to these gods, because as it is, by the time Upanishads come through, there's a shift from Rudra, from the concept of Indra towards Vishnu, towards Shiva, and that is where Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and Bhagavad Puran all come into context. Now, as a source, they're very important because they have reference to the Haranyakas, which is basically nothing but Magad, Shishungas, Nandas, Mauryas, Shungas, Kanvas, Andhras, all are referred to. And the Puranas generally give us a lot of information of history, along with that, also of gods, and even rivers, places are mentioned. Historical geography very well represented in the Puranas. Very important corpus. Remember that there is one set of Puranas which are also associated with the Jain texts. They are, the Adi Puran is a certain text which is referred to there also. People tend to confuse that. Now, Dharmashastras is another corpus which exists vis-a-vis Puranas. And there are 3 types of Dharmashastra. Dharma Sutras, the commentaries which exist for them, and the Smritis as they're called. Now, again, as of right now, if you're preparing for 2026, this is good enough information for you. If you're preparing for 27, 28, 29, then you can further refer to what I'm giving you here as reference. We discussed this in class also, and you will find it in the course one in history also. But the idea is that right now, just being conscious enough to know Dharma Shastras, Puranas, and Vedic corpus is different is good enough for the examination. Now, if you can remember this much from this area, then comes Buddhism. And Buddhist literature is one of the most important in the examination, because we have had at least one question on an alternative basis coming on Buddhist literature. Now, here, Buddhism is a religion, and therefore the list of literature can go into thousands. But for the purpose of the examination and looking at the time frame we have, I have identified some for you which are based out of R.S. Sharma, based out of all the standard books which are there, and this may help you in the examination to get you the answer. Now, for example, see, Vinay Pitak, Sutta Pitak, and Abhidhamma Pitak, the 3 Pitakas, very standard things, which first Buddhist Council, this is produced in the 3rd Buddhist Council. This is nothing out of the box. This is the easiest question which you can get. I have also given you certain information. For example, what is the subject matter? As we know, Vinay Pitak is the rule book, Sutta Pitak is what Buddha said, and Abhidhamma is the philosophical explanation of Sutta Pitak itself. This is standard. However, where UPSC is asking questions out of is this. For example, Deepavamsa, Vahavamsa, Milindapana. This has already come in the examination. So therefore, this has already been asked, Nagsena. Then you should know, for example, Deepavamsa, who is the author. Again, no specific person has been identified, but Mahavamsa, Mahanama. Again, whatever additional information you're looking at the screen is only for your reference. For the examination, literature author is good enough. I'm going to concentrate there only because I want you to remember that as of right now. I have tables in the end also. Then you have the Neti Prakarna. Again, don't go by the pronunciation, look at the spelling. Here you have author Maha Chakana, and thereafter we have Petako Padesa, which is again the same person, two texts out of the same person. The Jataks don't have one author, it is the past lives of Buddha, but written in Pali, important information that ways are moral, ethical texts. Then we have some important authors, and these authors have been asked multiple times. For example, Buddha Charitra already asked. Then we have also seen a question on the Buddha Ghosha as author and his book. This is a very, very important list for you because from Nagarjuna to Buddha Ghosha to Vasumitra to Ashwaghosha and Ashanga, we have also seen Lalita Vitra Sutra in the examination. So this is somehow the list which UPSC is referring to. I have given you further text of the same person because they can ask you this in the examination directly as a question 2 marker. Now, then we have also some Buddhist scholars who have written multiple texts. This again had come in the examination once. Dignaga, Dharmakriti and Chandrakriti. Again, 3 very important personalities. Now, if you can learn this list, then you per se don't need to learn the Jain list because you can then eliminate. Either you learn the Jain list or you learn the Buddhist list. Either way. Because you can't learn both, that is also a given. But for anybody who has more than 365 days, you should. This is all coming out of the courseware, and therefore you can refer to that as a consolidated resource. But because we're doing it right now, you can just learn this right now. Go through it once. I know. Just learn the first part. If you can, learn the first part. I know you will not be able to remember such big names for the examination. Some acronym, if you can make, you will be good enough. Now, when we move to Jain literature, the problem with Jain literature is it's a very extensive set, which is 12 Angas, 12 Upangas, but Cheda Sutras, Mula Sutras, and the Chukka Sutras, or Chikka Sutras, or Chukiya Sutra, whatever you want to call it. Remember these terms. These terms will help you because for the examination, they may be make and break for you because you may just have to identify which is Jain and Buddhist because that has also come in the examination previously. Then we also have personalities for which, for example, I have given you the list here again. I've given you the list of authors. I've also given you the name of the text. I've given you the name of the text. Again, try to learn the first half. My role, other than compiling this, is nothing. I'm just trying to give you a list here. You can take a screenshot of this. I've already identified this for you. You just have to learn the text and the author. And as I said, either learn Jain or learn Buddhist. If it goes beyond this list, as it is, nobody would know generally. Then, Adi Puran was asked in the examination directly. Remember this point. Directly. Jinasena was also mentioned in the examination once. We also have reference to Pampa, Adi Kavi Pampa, and we also have reference to a Rashtrakuta feudatory. Along with that, one more name which is important for you, the style in which it was written, Champu style. Then we have Pampa, Pona and Rana, who are referred to the 3 gems of Kannada literature. Very, very important for you. Again, identifying the areas to be remembered before you go into the examination. One read is going to be good enough. Please try to do that. Then, Kannada literature, again the list will start to, you can say intersect. Pampa, Pona, you have Raya. Along with that, you have another set of texts which have been asked. Again, my role is to tell you what to learn from this, and I'm telling you, just try to learn the first Vikram, try to learn only the first part of it. maybe that will help you in the examination to identify. But either don't learn both literature of Jainism or Buddhism both. From the Mauryan period, we have already seen terms coming in the examination. So I have compiled all the major authors. We have already seen Mudraksha of Vishakhadatta in the examination. Harshchitra Bana Bhatta has also been talked about. These are all Greek personalities. Mahavamsa, Deepavamsa, you already know. Divyadana is an important text. Then remember Strabo, Justin, Ryan, and Pliny. Important personalities. Fahian, you already know as a name. Then from the Gupta period, again, we have seen in the examination multiple personalities. As I said, I have a table for you here. See, Kalidasa's text, we have already seen Malvika Agnimitra coming in the examination. This one people know, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, but Meghduta, Kumar Vamsa, Vikramoshavya, these are important texts. Then we have also seen this person in the examination, Varuchi. These are all the important texts. Devi Chandragupta came in the examination once, which is Vishakhadatta. Vishakhadatta, two texts, Mudraksha and Devi Chandraguptam, we've discussed. These are important texts. Other than that, I have also given you Telugu, Kannada literature I have given you. Telugu literature set is this one. Again, you should know the Nayana's edition of the Mahabharata, which again Manu Masidhant, and this text is also important. And Krishna Deva Raya himself is a very important personality, as I will show you in the list. Then Sanskrit historical biographies written in the medieval period, equally important. For example, Harshchaita of Bana, Raj Tarangini of Kalhan, Prithviraj Raso, very important, Chandrabardai, and the Hamira Mahakavya written by Naya Chandra Suri, again equally important. So therefore, this is also an important text which you should know. So these names, as you will go through previous year questions, you will realize are there. These are actually standard texts which you should know irrespective of anything. Therefore, you should know these in that regard. Now, when we move to medieval India, I will try to concentrate on Vijayanagara because Vijayanagara is the most important here. I have all the others, which is from Delhi Sultanate, Persian, from Amir Khusro, what are the important texts, but they have not been asked till this point. I further also have all the texts which are related to Mughals in that regard, but I want to concentrate here. Again, this is available to you. This is going to be available to you, so don't have to worry. Remember this point. I'll give you 1 second if you want to take a screenshot, if you don't want to go through the PPT. I'm giving you Ibn Battuta, important personality, Ziauddin Bardini, important personality. You should know about Baizat, you should know about Babar writing himself, Abul Fazal and Baydauni's, what is called as the Akbarnama, two very different versions of Akbarnama you should know. You should also know what are the texts which are written during Aurangzeb's period. I have given you that information here, but Vijayanagara text, very, very, very important for you because he himself wrote a lot of text, which is Krishna Deva Raya. Therefore, it becomes important in the larger scheme of things. So, here, Kanakdasa, Purandardasa, important names, authors. All the texts have been mentioned. Then you have Deva Raya too writing himself, which becomes interesting. Then you also have Kanakdasa and Purandardasa as a person who have written multiple texts. So therefore, you should be able to give even a certain guess that, okay, it may be Kanakdasa or Purandardasa. Then Krishna Deva Raya's own very important Amukta Landya, everybody knows this one. But you should also know the other which have been written by him. So you should know that. And again, Tenali Raman's renditions of certain texts. So I know this is a long list, obviously. You may also have to do modern India, but modern India, the ROI is not good enough. I have given you Vedic plus Hinduistic text. I have also given you Buddhist text. I have given you Jain. I have given you Delhi Sultanate. I have given you Mughal. And I have given you Kannada literature. I have given you Telugu literature. I have also given you Vijayanagara literature. Now, I'll very honestly say to you, nobody can physically learn all of this. I know that. I'm telling you, learn Buddhist, learn Vijayanagara, and that should be good enough. Because most of the questions are coming from here. If maximum you can learn Mauryan and Gupta with it, you are sorted. So my basic attempt was to bring everything together in this session. I hope that this may help you. Maybe just going through this session may help you in the examination. So all the best. Thank you. Take care. I'll try to do more of all of these. I've already done all Buddhism explained in everything. I've already done all GI tags. I've also done all terms and architectural terms. This is all of the literature. If anything else you want me to take in the next 7 days, just write it in the comment section. Also like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. All the best.